begins.
Warm weather, but we will dry up. Maybe not seeing a whole lot of sunshine, but not a lot of rain over the next couple days.
On World News tonight, the president signs an ambitious education plan, new reading and math tests, and making schools accountable. Looking for bin Laden in the lawless mountains of Pakistan, the first visit by a Western journalist. The police videotape of the man who was speeding. 48 hours later, he was one of the September hijackers. We'll take a closer look tonight at carbohydrates of Americans gone too far, eating all that pasta. On the money trail tonight, the cruise ship that no one seems to want, except the Mississippi senator. And the face that sold 1 billion burgers. Dave Thomas of Wendy's has died.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to begin tonight with the most aggressive attempt in a generation by the government to reform education. In Ohio today, President Bush signed into law a $26.5 billion education bill. Education has been an issue he's cared about very publicly, and he believes very strongly that testing improves learning. Today's legislation imposes annual tests on millions of school children and holds schools accountable for the result. Mr. Bush didn't get everything he wanted in education reform, but he and the Democrats in the Congress worked out a plan that they both appear to like. ABC's Terry Moran has spent all day with the president on the road, and it has been all about education. Terry.
It has, Peter. The president went to 3 public schools in 3 states today to proclaim this bill's virtues and to merrily dramatize the bipartisan cooperation that made it possible. At a public school in Hamilton, Ohio, President Bush said the new bill marks a departure in the federal approach to education.
We're going to spend more money, more resources, but they'll be directed at methods that work, not feel-good methods, not sound-good methods, but methods that actually work.
The bill the president signed today requires testing of all public school children in grades 3 through 8, expands educational choices for parents of students in chronically failing schools, and provides up to $26.5 billion in funding, a 20% increase primarily for poor schools. The bill brought Mr. Bush into a close working relationship with Senator Kennedy, something he joked he'd have a hard time explaining to his Texas neighbors.
The folks at the Crawford Coffee Shop would be somewhat in shock when I told them I actually liked the fella. He is a fabulous United States Senator.
In Boston, the last stop of the day, Senator Kennedy returned the compliment, hailing the president's work on the bill.
President Bush was there every step of the way, making a difference on this legislation.
The bipartisanship on display today resulted in a bill that has won high marks from many educators, with some reservations.
Anytime we get more money, we're delighted. The negative side, of course, is that there are always a lot of mandates in legislatures such as this that might later on reveal mandates that will not be funded.
White House officials acknowledge that the bipartisan roadshow is part of a very calculated and characteristic Bush strategy of trying to embrace his political opponents. But, Peter, that's going to be very hard to carry over into this election year, as much more contentious issues than education, the economy and energy chief among them, come up.
Thanks, Terry. It was there on education today, and whatever impact the education bill has on the schools or the students, it is also going to generate a lot of business for one segment of the education industry, for the private tutorial companies who promise to improve students' test scores. A $1 billion windfall. Here's ABC's Michelle Norris.
Under the Bush education plan, parents whose children attend failing schools can receive up to $1,500 for private tutoring.
Parents are going to have a choice like they've never had before.
Tutorial companies are going to have business like they've never seen before. They have spent hundreds of thousands aggressively lobbying Congress to approve the money for tutoring.
3 companies dominate the market. The Princeton Review, Kaplan Incorporated, and Sylvan Learning Systems all have strong track records. This Baltimore County elementary school saw a sharp rise in test scores and grades after hiring Sylvan tutors for 1 year of twice-weekly sessions costing about $1,000 per pupil.
Together, our school, our teachers, and the Sylvan teachers, we have had some excellent progress.
I didn't like reading.
But educators wonder how firms built around one-on-one instruction can maintain quality with massive new demand. Other concerns, that a cottage industry of poor quality companies will rush into business, and that tutorial sessions will focus solely on boosting test scores.
There is going to be a great deal of pressure to focus on test-taking tricks rather than actually teaching kids how to read and write.
And how will taxpayers know they are getting their money's worth? Government officials admit that it will be almost impossible to monitor tutorial programs across 15,000 school districts in 50 states. Michelle Norris, ABC News, Washington.
And now to other news. In Maryland today, police released one of those videotapes taken from the police car when they stopped a man for speeding. Back in September, it turns out, as you'll see in just a few minutes, 2 days before the September attacks, they were actually dealing with one of the hijackers. Here's ABC's Pierre Thomas.
Just after midnight, Maryland State Trooper Joseph Catalano pulled over a red sedan on Interstate 95 for speeding.
Stop, you're going 90 and 65. See driver's license registration, please.
The stop, caught on police videotape, was routine in every way.
To live in Springfield on Quicksilver Drive.
The encounter lasted 8 minutes. The trooper gave Ziad Jarrah, a Lebanese national, a $270 ticket and sent him on his way.
Here's information. Free to go.
At the time, Jarrah was not wanted for any crime. He had a valid driver's license and was in the U.S. legally.
It's tough as the superintendent to watch his traffic stop and say if only.
No red flags at all. He was calm. He was all cooperative.
The red sedan was found in a parking lot at Newark International Airport. The ticket was in the glove compartment. Just 48 hours later, Jarrah was aboard United Airlines Flight 93, hijacking the plane which crashed into the Pennsylvania countryside.
What could have been done differently? Police say nothing. But tonight, Peter, they say it's still a bitter pill.
I can imagine, Pierre. Now, a piece in the Washington Post today reports that 6,000 men in the country have ignored their deportation orders. What's the Justice Department going to do now?
Well, Peter, they say they're very concerned that these 6,000 men, as you said, violated their deportation. They want to know where they are. They have no idea. So they say they want to mount a fairly aggressive campaign to see who they are. Now, civil libertarians say these men, there's no indication that they've done anything wrong and that this is simply racial profiling. Justice Department officials say there are men from countries with ties to Osama bin Laden.
Okay, thanks very much, Pierre Thomas. The story we'll go into more deeply tomorrow. The Pentagon said today that 2 senior members of al-Qaeda are in its custody. They were captured along with their laptops, their cell phones, and their weapons. But authorities in the Afghan city of Kandahar say they have released 3 former Taliban cabinet ministers. The governor of Kandahar says he had no case against them. U.S. officials were clearly not happy about that. The chairman of the Joint Chiefs said he expects all captured Taliban leaders to be turned over to the United States. As for Osama bin Laden, as we said yesterday, the Pentagon has laid off its daily speculation of where he might be. Still, if he has escaped from Afghanistan, he may have gone to a part of northwestern Pakistan that has been off limits to outside authority for a very long time. ABC's Dan Harris is the first Western reporter to get there in a very long time.
It is a forbidding place and a lawless place. Many people here are hostile to the U.S. and sympathetic to Osama bin Laden. This is the first time the Pakistani army has ever been allowed to come to the tribal areas, and only after lengthy, delicate negotiation. Colonel Zafar Iqbal says the locals are actually helping in the hunt for al-Qaeda fighters.
We are effectively blocking every approach, every gap with the help of them.
Colonel Zafar leads 1,000 men in the hunt in a part of the tribal areas called the Tira Valley. They patrol the Afghan border at 8,000 feet. In areas so remote, they need mule trains to bring supplies. The Army tells us we are among the first Westerners to come here to the Tira Valley since the British tried and failed to establish a foothold here in 1897. There are real questions about how committed the tribes are to this job. Crowds recently attended funerals for dead al-Qaeda fighters considered martyrs here. There are also questions about whether some Pakistani soldiers have helped al-Qaeda fighters get across.
It's not possible.
It is just not possible.
The Army is trying to win over the tribe, building roads and establishing the first clinics and schools this place has ever seen. But they have not arrested an al-Qaeda fighter for weeks. It seems their main priority now is not hunting terrorists, but taming a region they've never been able to control. Dan Harris, ABC News, in the tribal areas of Pakistan.
On the general subject of the campaign against terrorism, later this evening, Nightline is going to explore whether the events of recent months have changed some people's impressions in the Arab world about the United States. In our overseas briefing tonight, the Archbishop of Canterbury is retiring. George Carey has been the spiritual leader of 70 million Anglicans for 12 years, during which the church decided to ordain women. In the Russian city of Vladivostok today, the heaviest snowstorm in 50 years. Armored personnel carriers were brought in to move stranded cars and trolleys and buses. 2 months' worth of snow fell in just 12 hours, and they expect more tomorrow. And for the second day in a row, there's video from Peru, extraordinary pictures of the exploding fireworks that killed so many people last week. A whole street exploding. Panic in the street as everybody moved out in an absolute panic. You know that a couple of hundred people at least were confirmed to be dead when that devastation was over. When we come back this evening, the money trail, the cruise ships with no buyers built with taxpayer money. Doctors warn about hidden health risks from foods such as pasta and bread, and we'll take a closer look at that.
The average American diet is pretty far off target in terms of what would really be the optimally healthy way of eating.
And one of the most famous faces in fast food, Dave Thomas, has died.
This is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings. Brought to you by Total Cereal.
Make any resolutions this year?
I'm watching my figure.
Well, watch it get a little bigger, because you need 3 bowls a batch to get the vitamin E in total.
There goes lunch.
Here's what you need for the zinc in total.
Ooh, I thought this was good for my diet.
Not if you want Total's calcium.
Can I change my resolution?
Only Total has 100% of 11 vitamins and minerals you need. No other leading cereal comes close.
I'll take the Total. But you are going to help me clean this up, right?
Total Raisin Bran, Total Cornflakes. What are you getting for breakfast?
So, set up a department meeting for tomorrow and put in a call to the client. Get them up to speed. Anything else?
Here's a thought. Instead of saving money by not using paper, we could just go to Staples.
Yeah, with Staples 365 savings, they compare prices and back it up with a 110% price match guarantee.
I like that. Jot that down.
Low prices on every item, every day. Staples 365 savings. Yeah, we've got that.
Chilly nights at the firehouse mean heartburn and gas. These don't have the medicine to relieve both, but Gas X with Maalox does, combining the heartburn relief of Maalox with the power of Gas X to beat the burn and the bloat fast.
Now, the same Caltrate that helps fight bone loss may help your colon, too. In a recent study, Caltrate helped reduce the risk of recurrence of colon polyps, a risk factor for colon cancer. The same Caltrate you take for your bones, now for colon health, too.
If this is what you sometimes call breakfast, remember one thing. You are what you eat. So next time, try something good. Nutri-Grain, respect yourself in the morning.
If you suffer from heartburn caused by acid reflux, get Gaviscon. Gaviscon tablets become smooth and creamy, forming a soothing protective barrier that helps keep acid down. Gaviscon, relief from acid reflux without a prescription.
In the national briefing today, the Supreme Court has ruled that an auto worker with carpal tunnel syndrome cannot sue her employer under the Americans with Disabilities Act. She brought the case when Toyota refused to reassign her. The High Court said the law applies to people who are limited in major life activities, not just at their jobs, major decisions. The government says the country's overall health care spending rose nearly 7% in 2000 to $1.3 trillion. The increase actually outpaced the growth of the economy and was primarily in hospital and drug costs. Scientists at Harvard say they have used stem cells to relieve symptoms of Parkinson's disease in rats. The research suggests that stem cells could one day be used to treat brain disorders in humans. On the money trail tonight, the Mississippi senator with a shipyard in his backyard and last-minute congressional efforts to build the cruise ships nobody else seems to want in his backyard. Here's ABC's John Martin.
The Ingalls Shipyard here in Mississippi was building 2 U.S. cruise ships for the first time in more than 40 years. Each was to hold 1,900 passengers. But in October, the cruise company which ordered the vessels filed for bankruptcy, and the taxpayers were forced to pay nearly $200 million because the government had guaranteed their loans. Now, Congress wants to spend more money on the ships, telling the Navy to expeditiously pursue the possibility of acquiring the ships to make naval forces more mobile.
That language was inserted into the defense appropriations bill at the last minute. Many here in Congress did not see it.
The shipyard is down the street from Senator Trent Lott's home. He has pushed the Navy in the past to build some ships it did not need.
This is crazy. You can't do this. This is outrageous. The company went bankrupt. There's 2 hulls sitting in the state of Mississippi.
It's a significant amount of money that we're going to be spending on these cruise ships, and this money could be better spent elsewhere on programs that would be more beneficial to our security.
Neither the shipbuilder, Northrop Grumman, nor the Navy would comment. Sources at the Pentagon said the Navy will ask Congress for more money. Money to study whether it can find a use for 2 cruise ships. John Martin, ABC News, Washington.
Just one other item from Washington today. At the National Airport today, a senior U.S. congressman discovered the new security checks can be rigorous. Michigan's John Dingell was strip searched when his artificial hip set off a metal detector. Mr. Dingell says he wasn't upset, although he was felt up and down like a prize steer, as he put it. And the Audubon Institute in New Orleans now owns the only 12 white alligators believed to exist. An oil company donated them. They're valued at $4 million. When we come back this evening, a new warning about some very basic foods. We'll take a closer look.
I ate Quaker oatmeal for 30 days. It actually works to remove cholesterol from your body, knocks it right out. Help me strike 6 points to cholesterol. Bowled me over. Quaker oatmeal warms you heart and soul.
I was finally going to buy my grandson a big boy bat. I was on chemo then, and I was exhausted.
If you're a chemotherapy patient and feel tired, you may be anemic. Ask your doctor about Procrit to regain red blood cells. More red blood cells can mean more strength. Procrit is proven and safe. In studies, only diarrhea and edema occurred more often with Procrit than placebo. Procrit is for patients with non-myeloid cancers.
He takes a lot of energy, but I never get tired of him.
Some women solve problems before they start. Little ones and big ones. Introducing Today from One A Day. Today is the only complete multivitamin made with soy for your heart, plus 5 essential bone-building nutrients. Anticipate problems before they start. A better tomorrow starts with Today. New from One A Day.
I'm every man.
And every woman who ever suffered from frequent, persistent heartburn.
If you've treated your heartburn and changed your diet, but it comes back 2 or more days a week, then you may know about the burning pain of acid reflux disease.
But there's something about acid reflux that I didn't know.
Over time, that acid churning up can wear away the lining of your esophagus.
I didn't know.
I didn't know.
I didn't.
But today, there's a purple pill called Nexium. It's from the makers of Prilosec. Just 1 prescription Nexium a day gives many people complete resolution of heartburn symptoms.
That could mean complete heartburn relief.
And importantly, Nexium is also proven to heal erosions in the esophagus caused by acid reflux. Only a doctor can determine if you have this damage. Other serious stomach conditions may still exist. The most common side effects of Nexium and Prilosec are headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain. So talk to your doctor and call this number for more information and for a free trial certificate for Nexium.
Relieve the heartburn, heal the damage. It's possible with today's purple pill called Nexium.
The arm's still strong, but sometimes the pain's even stronger. So I grab control with Advil. Not Tylenol, not Aleve. Nothing's proven stronger or lasts longer than Advil.
You have the strength to get rid of pain. Take control. Take Advil.
We're going to take a closer look tonight at whether Americans are eating too much of a good thing. This is about a group of doctors who believe that the conventional wisdom about proper diet may be misguided. ABC's John McKenzie tonight on what may be wrong with carbohydrates.
For more than a decade now, the public health message has been loud and clear. Eat less fat and more carbohydrates. And millions of Americans have heeded the call.
I think the most important aspect of diet is eating low-fat food. I'm eating more pasta, rice, potatoes.
I try to eat, cereal or a bagel in the morning.
But eating more and more carbohydrates poses its own health risks.
When you eat food containing carbohydrate, it enters your bloodstream as sugar.
To get the sugar out of the blood, the body has to produce a surge of insulin. The more carbohydrates you eat, the more insulin that's required. But research suggests there are millions of unsuspecting Americans who simply cannot handle all this insulin.
The high levels of insulin greatly increase the risk of developing, first of all, coronary heart disease, heart attack. They certainly involved in stroke.
There's also evidence that over time, high carbohydrate diets may also result in some people running out of insulin and developing diabetes. Dr. Walter Willett, chairman of the Department of Nutrition at the Harvard School of Public Health, says it's not only the amount of carbohydrate you eat, it's also the type of carbohydrate that matters.
What's become quite clear is that not all carbohydrates are the same. When we eat a baked potato, we get a more rapid spike in blood sugar than we do even after eating pure table sugar.
Some doctors who have studied the effects of these foods now say too many Americans have gone too far in the switch to carbohydrates. They say that while most people should reduce their consumption of saturated fats, such as red meat and whole dairy products, they should replace them with valuable unsaturated fats. The kinds of fats found in nuts, seeds, fish, avocados, and almost all liquid vegetable oils. The so-called healthy fats, which can actually help reduce the risk of heart disease, but which are often shunned by Americans in favor of high carbohydrate diets. John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
Dr. Walter Willett, who you saw just there, will participate in an online discussion about diet tomorrow at noon at our website, abcnews.com. When we come back this evening, a familiar face and a remarkable salesman.
If you've had a heart attack or a stroke, the last thing you need is another one sneaking up on you. After all, you've got better things to do. I know. In my case, I had a stroke. That's why I talked to my doctor about Plavix. He told me Plavix is a prescription pill that can help protect you from a heart attack or stroke if you've recently had one, or if you have poor circulation in the legs causing pain.
Plavix is proven to help keep blood platelets from sticking together and forming clots, which helps keep your blood flowing. This can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke. If you have a medical condition that is causing bleeding, such as a stomach ulcer, you should not use Plavix. Side effects include itching, rash, diarrhea, and bruising. Additional rare but serious side effects could occur. Ask your doctor.
Taking Plavix once a day helps protect me.
Find out if Plavix can help protect you from another heart attack or stroke.
If this is what you sometimes call breakfast, remember one thing. You are what you eat. So next time, try something good. Nutri-Grain, respect yourself in the morning.
Working hard or working out, nutrition is important. With Centrum or Centrum Silver, you benefit from what science discovers about how the right multivitamins help unlock energy and strengthen immunity. Centrum and Centrum Silver, always complete from A to Zinc.
Why do I eat Healthy Choice Beef Tips Portobello?
Why? Because it has lean, tender chunks of beef in a delicious mushroom sauce with crisp vegetables.
Real food just for me. Why?
because my body needs balanced nutrition from meals that are 97% fat-free and low in cholesterol, with vitamins A and C and iron.
Why do I eat Healthy Choice?
It helps me do the things I like to do. That's why.
Healthy Choice. Feel-good food.
Come on, boys. Breakfast is ready.
Good morning, Grandma.
Good morning, Timmy.
I'm Tommy.
Oh, sorry, Tommy. Now dig in. Your mom said to get a good, healthy breakfast. Where's that brother of yours, anyway?
I'll go get him. Hey, Tommy, let me out!
Introducing Minute Maid blends with new orange strawberry banana and orange cranberry. Flavors even kids can't resist.
I wonder if Tommy wants more juice.
I'm Paul Lenman. Coming up next on K2 News, the family of motorcycle officer Christopher Guzman talks about their critically injured loved one. Plus, police have concrete reasons to be watching California hospitals in the hunt for Christian Longo. We'll have the latest. And a Northwest teen recovering from brain surgery meant to make him stop growing. Next on K2.
Tomorrow, Special Ops Forces hunting for clues. The top-secret mission to the caves in Afghanistan. We went with them. What they've uncovered on World News Tonight.
Finally from us this evening, the high school dropout who became a fast food giant. Dave Thomas of Wendy's Hamburgers died early this morning in Florida. He was 69 and had liver cancer. Mr. Thomas built a business worth several $1 billion, and he loved to connect with potential customers. Here's ABC's Dean Reynolds.
Sound 24. When I was a boy,
Say what you want about his acting ability, but Dave Thomas was a big success.
You spoil your lunch, fellas.
Dave Thomas represented your basic hamburger flipper. You could mistake him for one of your own relatives if you saw him on the street.
Thomas dropped out of high school and joined the Army, where he was, what else, a cook. He later learned the fast food trade from Colonel Harlan Sanders of Kentucky Fried Chicken fame. Then, at the age of 35, he made $1 million off a handful of KFC franchises he sold and started up his own restaurant in 1969 in Columbus, Ohio. It was called Wendy's, his daughter's nickname.
Hey, Dad!
Coming, Wendy.
Being the company pitchman was not his idea, and it showed.
Well, it's a Wendy's. Bacon, smoky.
Say,
I'm starved. Well...
Adopted as a child, Thomas was also a tireless promoter of adoption.
Think about adopting a special child. They grow up to be special people.
He created his own foundation to encourage the practice and donated all his profits from 3 books to support it.
I think he had a very measurable effect on adoption in raising public awareness for the children in the public foster care system.
But it was his homespun skill at selling hamburgers that somehow connected with the public.
American icon. What can you say? Dave Thomas.
His fast food empire had sales of more than $8 billion last year.
For someone who was so homespun, he was probably one of the shrewdest businessmen out there.
Bonjour, Dave. Bonjour.
Thomas never had great expectations for Wendy's. He once said he thought there'd be only 3 or 4 of them. He was off by about 6,000. Dean Reynolds, ABC News, Chicago.
And he did about 800 commercials. That's our report on World News Tonight. Tomorrow on World News, we're going to look at a new study on depression with some surprising findings about how many Americans suffer from it. I hope you'll join us then. I'm Peter Jennings. Have a good evening and good night.
Tonight, how do you defend a boy whose sole reason for committing a crime
There has to be an explanation.
is to destroy his own father? Judd Hirsch guest stars.
You had an affair. Your son knew about it. He's trying to shame you.
A new Philly After Blue, ABC Tonight.
Now on K2 News at 6:30, she says she was suffering from a mental disease when she killed her daughter, but tonight court documents revealed disturbing details of Karen Huster's confession. Plus, cleanup is underway after wet weather sends landsliding and rivers overflowing, and we hear from the family of a Portland motorcycle officer injured by a suspected drunk driver.
Connecting you to your world, this is K2 News.
Good evening from K2. I'm Paul Lindman.
And I'm Steve Dunn. Thank you for joining us. First testimony today in the trial of a Washington County woman accused of killing her daughter.
The defense contends Karen Huster was insane, but as K2's Bob High tells us, prosecutors called their first witness to show Huster is guilty of murder.
Karen Huster sat quietly in court, her lawyer delaying any statements until later in her murder trial. The defense contends Huster was insane when she killed her 9-year-old daughter Elizabeth 5 years ago. The girl's body has never been found. Prosecutors contend